Teachings, we vow to save all beings. Virtuous shield of for emptiness, wearing Dharma's teachings, we vow to save all beings. Roll liberation, virtuous field of for emptiness, where Dharma's teachings, we vow to save 该地现在 Chanting of the Tesshin is dedicated to all Buddhas throughout space and time. All other ones, bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna, Paramita.
compassionate Dharani. Adoration to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Adoration to Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, the Bodhisattva of compassion. Adoration to the one who removes all fear and suffering. Having adored Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, may we now recite this glorious Dharani, which purifies all beings, which fulfills the wishes of all beings. Homage to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, who embodies the Trikaya, who has a transcendent wisdom. Homage to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, who continues to save all beings without defilement in the mind. Homage to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, who sustains the highest and most complete wisdom, and who is free of all impediments. Homage to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, whose deeds reveal the fundamental purity of all beings. Homage to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, who wipes away the three evil delusions, greed, anger, and folly. Quick, quick, come, here, here. Our joy springs up in us. Help us to enter the realm of great realization. Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva of compassion, guide us to spiritual contentment. Accomplishment, having testified to the freedom and compassion of the mind of Avalokiteshvara, having purified our own body and mind, having become as brave as a lion, having become manifest in all beings, having attained to the wheel of Dharma and the lotus flower, we can now save all beings without hindrance. May the understanding of the mysterious nature of Avalokiteshvara prevail forever and ever and ever. Adoration to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Adoration to Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, the Bodhisattva of compassion. May this Dharani be effective. Hail. The body of the pure Dharma world neither appears nor disappears. The strength of compassionate vow brings life and death into being. Revering the Buddhas, we pray that their true compassion will shine upon us. Prostrating ourselves before the Buddhas, we pray that their true compassion will embrace us. Today, August 1st, 2021, we dedicate these Kesu bells and Mo Kugyo. We heartily offer incense, flowers, tea, and candlelight, and we chant the Daishin Dharani and the Great Compassionate Dharani in gratitude for the gifts of these temple instruments. As these bells resound within our temple, may the Dharma resound within us, generating great compassion mind and penetrating deeply to all beings, the triple world and the six realms of existence. May the resounding awakening of the Buddha echo down to our time and beyond, eternally illuminating all beings. And may we live constantly in the spirit of the ancestral teachings. All Buddha, space, wisdom beyond wisdom, Heart Sutra. When practicing deeply the Prajnaparamita, perceive that all five skandhas are empty and was safe from all suffering and distress. So Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, formations, consciousness. So Shariputra, all dharmas are marked by emptiness. They do not appear nor disappear, are not tainted nor pure, do not increase nor decrease. Therefore, in emptiness, no form, no feelings, no perceptions, no formations, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of mind, until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, until no old age and death, and also no extinction of them, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva depends on Prajnaparamita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist far apart from every perverted view. The Bodhisattva dwells in nirvana, in the three worlds. All Buddhas depend on Prajnaparamita and attain unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. Therefore know the Prajnaparamita is a great transcendent mantra, is a great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the Prajnaparamita mantra, proclaim the mantra that says Gate, Gate, Para, Gate, Para, Gate, Bodhisattva. We honor the boundless virtue of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May their compassion embrace us. We prostrate ourselves before Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May their wondrous power enter our hearts. Now that we have chanted the great wisdom beyond wisdom Heart Sutra, all merit elicited in this recitation are dedicated to the great teacher Shakyamuni Buddha, the first master in China, Bodhi-Dharma, the first master in Japan, Heihei Dogen, to great teacher Jikai Dainen, to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and the triple treasures in the 10 directions, and all our arhats and bodhisattvas. May the power of their liberating wisdom direct the Saha world toward the peaceful Buddha land, and may the power of their inspiration in their zazen mind lead wandering beings to enter the right path. We aspire to turn the Dharma wheel unceasingly and to free the world from all disaster and tragedy. All throughout space.
Roshan, can you use the matches?
No Kichidorani.
Sanmanda Motonan Noharachi Kotosha Sononan Toji Toen Gya Unnun Shifura Hara Shifura Chichusa Chichuri Soja Senchi Gya Shiri Somoko no Sanmana Motona Noharachi Kodasha Surana Koji Hoen Yaki Unnun Shifura Hara Shifura Chichusa Chichuri Soja Senchi Ya Shiri Somoko no Sanmanda Motuna Noharachi Sodosha Sononan Doji Koen Yaki Unnun Shifura Hara Shifura Chichusa Chichuri Soja Senchi Ya Shiri Somoko
Descendant Pandarani.
Mokote ta soga Onitate ta Mokote ta soga Onitate ta Mokote ta soga
The Innocent and Kampandarani are dedicated to the safety and protection of this temple and to the health and welfare of its members.
Throughout space and time. Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maharajna, Parami.
We're back.
Good morning.
It's great to see everybody. I hope to see more and more of you each day as the clouds disperse from my glasses. I wasn't thinking of a Dharma talk as such, but what the hell, let's go through the motions. So we'll go into the Zendo. Okay, glad you're here.
Table for the session.
And unsurpassed,
penetrating and perfect Dharma
is rarely met with even 100,000 million kalpas, having it to see and listen to, you never accept. I vow to taste the truth of the Tathagata's words.
How many people are here?
on Zoom.
And okay. Well, welcome everybody, whether you're here or whether you're really here or you're virtually here. It's kind of interesting to come in here and sit with masks on. That's the first time I've done that. I'm not used to wearing a mask. I'm retired, so I just holed up in my house for the last 2 years and breathe freely. My glasses were steamed up the whole time I was sitting, and so I took them off, and I think I can read my notes. I've been thinking about a couple of things. I've been thinking about, well, more than a couple, but you know. I've been thinking about sound lately, probably because of our recent trip to the Adirondacks, where we're in a state park, and there's a curious, I don't know what to call it, exhibition, installation. Anyway, you walk through the woods, and there are all of these sculptures. Most are made out of metal. I don't know, half-mile trek, I guess. And some of the sculptures move, others don't. And then there's music. And the music comes from, who knows where it comes from. Speakers are placed strategically about this, on this trail, and you just, wander along the trail, and you wander from art object to art object. You wander from one song into the next. And my understanding is that it's arranged in such a way that you could do this, for the rest of your life, and it's not going to be the same experience each time. The music is different. It's just such a wonderful experience to be inside the sound. That doesn't happen very often. It happens in church, actually. There, you are inside the sound, and it's much different than listening to the sound, when you've got a couple of $1,000 speakers on one end of the room, and then you're on the other end of the room, and you're, listening to this sound emanate from the other side. Here, you're right inside the sound, and it's an intellectual experience. It's an emotional experience. It's a spiritual experience. this was late in the day when I encountered this. I had no idea it was there. You know how it is when you're on vacation, you're just wandering around. One of the pleasures of that is, you know, all the surprises that are in store. Well, this was at the end of the day and they were going to close up. So I couldn't stay there as long as I wanted to. But it reminded me of these bells, actually. Before we had, can't even see it. I guess that's not the bell. We had another bell. No, even no, this was, I think this is, yeah, that's right. It's at home in my makeshift Zendo. The sound is terrible. I remember when I was a kid, one of my friends who was learning to play the cello, he had an aluminum cello. They're cheaper to make out of aluminum. Then you just paint them, you know, so that they look like wood. Well, you can imagine maybe how bad that thing sounded. And our first bell was kind of like that, you know. It was a bell, but that's all you could say for it. It was shaped like a bell. Well, this one is not only shaped like a bell, but it sounds like a bell. It emanates. You can live inside the bell. When you come in here, you know, you can feel the waves if you're, you know, if you're paying attention. The bell has an effect on us. That's the kind of bell to have. Now we paid for these bells, I don't know, long time ago, 6 or 7 years. We built up this bell fund, and then we had a fundraiser where we had a sugar daddy who offered, what do you call it? A matching grant. That's what it was. Anyway, so that brought us over the hump. But we decided not to spend the money right away for a couple of reasons, I guess. One is we're always worried about the money. So we didn't spend it. And the other reason was that, you know, we're in a farmhouse. This is not recognizable as a temple. We have surprised more than one person who showed up here and was expecting, I'm not sure what, but, you know, just a house in North Marquette. That's what it is. There's a saying for the Puritans, American Puritans: God's altar needs not our polishings. God's altar needs not our polishings. And the suggestion from that little saying is that a farmhouse is good enough. It's all you need is a farmhouse. And in a way, that's right. All you need is a farmhouse. We've gotten along great, you know, in this space. And there are dangers in polishing the altar. I don't have it handy with me now, but I've seen a Zen Buddhist supply catalog with robes in the catalog. This is hand sewn. This is a pretty rude robe. But anyway, these are truly ceremonial robes, $25,000, $30,000, made out of exquisite silk brocade. I was thinking, you know, do I want a robe like that? Well, that'd be kind of cool to have a robe like that. It'd be kind of cool to have a really expensive bell. See, but when you start down that path, you know, it's an endless path, as billionaires can tell you. So, you know, luxury is something that's very tempting, but there's also this thing called the middle way. You know, do you have to exist for eternity with a bell that only looks like a bell and that you regret having every time you ring it? Or can you get a better bell, a middle way bell? See, this is our middle way bell. It costs some bucks, but it's a beautiful bell. We can live inside the bell. We can be energized by this bell. You know, in a way that we weren't energized by the first bell. So that's, you know, that's why we got it. This is the middle way. Our farmhouse has, has a bow tie on it now, to mix metaphors. But anyway, that's the story of the bell. Well, and we decided to do it now because, well, we're at a crossroads. Have you noticed that? Did you want Donald Trump to go away? Have you noticed that he's still here? But have you also noticed that he's not here in the same way that he was here before? Now I'm thinking about us. See, we've been here for over 20 years. And although we've changed over that span of time, people come, people go. We're not going to go back to what we were before. It just doesn't happen. It's moving, or you are moved if you are not inclined to do so yourself. You are always moving, into a future. And so, at the end, supposedly of COVID, what is going to happen next? See, what do we want to have happen next? It's not as if, you're just pushed willy-nilly into the future. You have some control over what happens. What are your aspirations for your practice? What are your aspirations for this place, for this Sangha? Have you thought about that? What's going to happen? We really don't know what's going to happen, but we can, maybe if we have some, intention, we're on this river, but we can, direct the flow of the craft that we're in to a certain extent. See, we do have plans. I mean, we bought this bell. I was thinking, how many strikes of the bell are in this bell before it, I don't know, turns into something else. That's one of the cool things about a bell, is it seems like it's infinite, but I guess it really isn't. But this bell could exist for centuries. The striker can't exist for centuries. You could get a new striker. But a bell is something that lasts, can last. There are no moving parts, nothing to break down, except for the striker, but you can replace that. See, we're going to be online now. Are you still there, folks? Okay, yeah, they're waving. We're online now, which is a really weird experience. I can see them. By the way, we need to oil the wheels on this. You folks are sitting on top of an old TV stand that this one's so old, those boxy ones, it's a stand about like this. Anyway, I've been saving it all these years, I guess, for this event. But it's working much better than I thought it would work so far, at any rate. So it's great to look onto the computer screen and see people there. There's 7 people. So we've got 13 people here. So that's 20 people who showed up today, which is great. That's one of my aspirations, is not to have a lot of people, but to have people show up regularly. When people show up regularly, you're more likely to have truly a community. One of the surprising things about this last couple of years, I've talked with other teachers too, they're doing the same thing we are. They felt forced into Zoom. There was just no other way to, maintain the Sangha. And now they're also going to continue, because it's such a good way to stay in contact with people. I had not sat with anybody since the last time we were here. This was the first time. How many months is that? quit in March. And that's almost 18 months. That's a long time. And I have to say it was different to sit with people. I don't want these folks to hear it. It's better to sit with people. I was reminded of that, just sitting here today. I was surprised at how difficult it is to sit with a mask. Now I know why the Olympic athletes are not wearing masks during their events. I don't know about you, but I just feel like I don't have enough oxygen. And our Doan here is shouting because you got to shout to make yourself heard. That's one. We don't know what's going to happen. And the reason we're wearing masks is we won't know what today is like for another 2 weeks. And by then it's too late to do anything about today. So the masks are preventative, prophylactic. What a wonderful word. And we hope we'll be able to ditch them. But if we can't, then we can't. We'll just, we'll just have to wear them for however long. We can do that. We know more about COVID than we did, back 18 months ago. And so it's not quite as nerve-wracking, which is good. Well, what are your thoughts about today? About the next week, the next 10 years, if you want to go that far.
Well, I would say I really feel the support of other people when I'm sitting with them.
Yeah. I mean, they're supporting you. They showed up. And they're right next to you. And they're right next to you. What was that?
We sound a lot better.
Oh yeah, we sound better. That's right. That was yeah, okay. Yeah, I should mention that. We did the same sutra, but in 2 different languages. The Tesshin Dharma, and then the English name.
Great compassion.
Yeah, Great Compassionate Dharma. People show up here and they don't realize that we're doing the Heart Sutra in English one day, and then the next day we do this weird thing in some other language, and it's the same. The Daishin Dharani in Sino-Japanese, is it worthwhile chanting if you have no idea what the words mean? It's like it's like Latin, I guess, for Catholics. If you don't know Latin, then one wonders, how useful that is. So I decided to put them back to back so people would have an idea. With the Heart Sutra, we chant it so often. We chant both versions so often that we know what we're saying when we're doing the Sino-Japanese. The Sino-Japanese sounds so much better. Those translations were worked on for centuries. Our English translations, frankly, strike me, and many of them, as just short of terrible. And so I like the Sino-Japanese just for the artfulness of it. It will probably take us centuries to come up with good translations in English too. But anyway, so that's why we did both of them. The transition between the 2 of them was a little rough. That's one thing I anticipate. Rohan and I were over here yesterday trying to remember how to do morning service. I've been doing this for 25 years and I can't remember how to do it. Yes, we remember generally, but you have to remember particularly. And I should have been able to figure this out. Well, I did figure it out yesterday. You're not going to know how to do it until you actually do it. You don't know, in your head. You know in your entire body. And once you're, in that body, that event, and then it comes back to you. Yeah, Zazen is like that. It's like that too. It's not just your head, not just your body, but both together. I want one of you 6 people to speak, just to hear what we hear, so we can hear how loud you are. I'm not sure how much we'll be able to involve people on online.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
When you were talking about the Sino-Japanese, chanting the Sino-Japanese versions,
Yep.
it's a bit like the bell, living in the sound. That's the way I regard it. It's just sounds. You can inhabit the sound much more than
Yep.
without getting hooked up in what it means.
Yep. Partly because it's so artful, and also partly because we don't know the language, and so we focus on the sounds. Yeah, when I used to teach poetry, I would read students. I would read the prologue to the Canterbury Tales. The Canterbury Tales are written in Middle English, and you can tell that it's some sort of English when you read it, but you have to study it in order to really be able to tell what each line means. And the kids would just be blown away because they would hear the sound in a way that you don't if you know the meanings of the words. And yeah, that can be a spiritual experience, living inside that sound, living inside the sound of the sutra, the bell. Yeah. Well, you answered my question. People can hear you, so that's good. Fudo, did you turn up the sound as loud as it would?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Well, anything else? Or should we go have some coffee?
Well, I do think that COVID is, I don't think we would have ever done Zoom at the Zendo without COVID.
No.
And boy, I tell you, it's been a lifesaver for me to be able to sit with the Sangha in the morning before I go to work. It changes my entire day. And so I'm really grateful for that. And so I think that's one of the good things.
Well, I scoffed at the idea of doing it on the computer, but then we were placed in this position of having no other alternative. And so we were forced to try it. And people who have tried it, yeah, we've discovered that it's important for individuals. It's important for the community.
I really
Inspiring.
like when you first said it, you said, we were forced to go into Zoom. And in the back of my mind, simultaneously, the further you talked through that, the word reinforce came up. And it's like we were initially forced to go into Zoom. And then by taking that path, it has kind of helped to reinforce the practice for individuals and the Sangha alike.
Yeah, I have to say, I in the last 18 months, I have sat more regularly than I did. Partly because I had to be, I had to run the computer. But that kind of being forced in such a way is a good way of disciplining yourself. So I don't regret that at all.
So we're going to start at 6:45 in the morning.
Actually, I've been thinking about the time. I'm not sure if we should do the altar service or the entryway altar service every day, or if we should just save it for weekends. I don't think we're so desperate that we need that help every day. So we might be able to just do it once a week. That way it would be more special too, I think. I was thinking maybe of starting if we set just for 30 minutes, see, we set for 40 minutes before. So if we drop the entry altar service and sit for 30 minutes, maybe move it to 7. Does that sound,
Sure.
does that sound good? Does that sound good? Move it to 7.
Yes, 7.
8, 9. Okay, we can do that. We'll, that also will be provisional. We'll see what, what works. So we'll say 7 o'clock now instead of 6:45. Okay, well, thank you. It's great to see everybody in person and virtually. And so let's finish up here.
Last page in the Sutra book. Penetrating places, so that we in every sense and being together may realize the Buddha way. Beings are numberless. I vow to awaken with them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma are boundless. I vow to enter them. Buddha's way is unsurpassable.
You guys want to hang out for just a second? I can show you the bell that we purchased.
Thank you.
So that's the big one right there.
Beautiful.
Yeah. What's it sound like?
And then
Oh,
we also got the Makugyo.
Yeah.
What we were doing? That was not the bell during service.
The Makugyo is something that we also purchased. Pretty cool.
Wait for sample sound.
Yeah.
Move your butt.
Your butt's on the camera there. Gotta be aware of 2 things.
Yes.
Good to see that butt again, John.
Yeah.
John, you want to get a hit on the spell?
Well, I will see you all virtually. We're gonna sit at 7 a.m. on Tuesday.
Thank you,
See you,
Joe.
Pluto. Bye.
Thank you.
See you all.